Hey booktube, it's Tara, and it is Friday night, July 31st, the very end of the month, and I'm going to do my wrap up kind of off of the cuff today. I didn't plan on doing it right now today, but I'm bored and I need something to do before I go to bed. So this is my July wrap up. I read 13 books in the month of July. I will be giving ratings. A lot of these books I already talked about in my prior video, Friday Reads, where I gave a short synopsis of what the books were about and how I felt about them. In this video, I'm going to try to keep that very short since I talked about it in my last video. So I'm going to start from my least favorite to the 5 stars. So the first book, Conjure Women by Afia Atakora. I gave this book 2 stars. First of all, I started reading it back in December of 2019 and I just finished it. That's how slow moving it was for me. This book follows 2 women, a mother and a daughter, in 2 different timelines. They are both these conjure or medicine women living during slavery times, and this story went all around the mulberry bush just to get to the gist and the meat of the story, and I think that's what I disliked about it the most. It didn't get good until the end. So again, 2 stars for Conjure Women. Second book, 4-Letter Word by Ava Freeman, I gave 3 stars to. This is a short novella that involves a love story between 2 black lesbians, closeted lesbians, I guess, that meet at work. Next book I finished, Bingo Love, which is a graphic novel about 2 young girls that meet in the 50s when they're in, I think, elementary or middle school. They fall in love with each other. They separate. They come back together when they're 50, 60 years old. It was cute, and I gave it 4 stars. Next is Black Enough by E.B. Zoboi. This was an anthology about young, I would say young adult African American anthology about being black and how that feels for kind of like the teenage young adult years, and navigating that here in America. And I gave 4 stars to this anthology. The next anthology I read was 145th Street by Walter Dean Myers. This was my first Walter Dean Myers book, and it follows several stories that are not interconnected in any way, but some of the characters make appearances in some of the other stories and different storylines. I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. Next, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter by Curtis Jackson, or 50 Cent, as you know him. This is a self-help memoir book geared more towards leadership, and he really gave some key ideas and some key pointers into how to navigate your life if you're looking to excel in entrepreneurship or leadership in your company. I gave it 4 stars. Now I'm going into all of my 5-star reads for the month of July. So first 5-star read, All Boys Aren't Blue by George M. Johnson. This was a memoir about a black, gay man, and kind of like his coming to age, how he came out. It's very raw, it's very graphic, it's very real. I enjoyed it. Second 5-star read, 32 Candles by Ernessa T. Carter. This was a roller coaster ride of a story. Follows a young girl named Davidia, and it's kind of a love story, but mostly her life, her relationship with her mother, how she goes from being kind of like an ugly duckling into, a beautiful young woman. She is obsessed with Molly Ringwald of 16 Candles and kind of loosely patterns her life after that, but it's a lot darker, and again, it's a roller coaster ride. It's great. Next 5-star read was The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. Young boy who is biracial. He's half Greek, half white. No, half Greek, half black, living over in the UK. And it's, like I said, it's a coming of age story about him being young and gay and just kind of navigating his life and the experiences that he has becoming the Black Flamingo. Next 5-star read is The People Who Could Fly by Virginia Hamilton. This was a picture book that has words, obviously, but it's a Black folklore story that tells of how Africans who were enslaved over here in America had the ability to fly at one point, but their wings were clipped, and how they could say a certain phrase or a certain set of magic words in their own native tongue to bring back that power. Next, I finished Barracoon by Zora Neale Hurston, 5 stars. This was, I believe, Zora Neale Hurston's last non-published manuscript that became published after her death, and she interviewed the last living cargo, or the last known African turned slave turned free man over here in America. Very, very good story. I love the fact that she kept his dialect authentic. Next, I finished a book of poetry called Helium by Rudy Francisco. I gave this 5 stars. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I felt like, let me read my notes. From my notes, I felt like these poems seemed to be a constant reminder of his mistakes and his imperfections. It was very poetically honest. It was about him growing up, figuring out life, figuring out love, falling in love, falling out of love, discovering yourself, moving through being a Black man in this country, forgiveness, strength, moving forward into purpose. Every poem in this short book was phenomenal, and it hit home. It was a very, very good read. I physically read it on Kindle. I think I heard if you listen to it, it's probably even better because maybe it's like spoken word or has that vibe to it. So anyway, excellent if you're into poetry. I loved it. 5 stars. And then the last book I gave 5 stars to was Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. This was a short book written in letter form, crafted to his son about what it means to be Black in this country and how that feels. And it was so poetically written, and it almost felt like prose the way Ta-Nehisi Coates reflected on and projected his beliefs and his feelings of what he has experienced being Black and a young man into a grown man living in America. So 5 stars, hands down. I loved it. I see why everybody was so hyped on that book. So those are all the books that I read in the month of July. That's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and if you would like to see more content from me, please consider subscribing. Please thumbs up, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.